Welcome back to the MACNA 2020 Phoenix Rising presentations. I have the great honor now of introducing Tim for our Scholarship Recipient Awards. Go ahead, Tim.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm MASNA's Director of Conservation. With me today I've got the undergraduate student scholar and the graduate student scholar. Our undergraduate's name is Lauren Jennings. She's a junior at the University of California at Santa Barbara. And our graduate scholar is Aaron Pilnick. He's a PhD student at the University of Florida. So we award one scholarship in each of these categories each year. And the candidate pool is always extremely competitive. And these two students that we have here today with us are top notch. I could not be more excited to introduce you to them. And so we're gonna hear a little bit about each of them, what they do, what they're interested in, maybe a couple fun facts. So without further ado, I'm gonna pass it over to our undergraduate, Lauren Jennings, and we'll hear from her. Lauren, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I am a third year at the University of California, Santa Barbara. I am a biology major in the College of Creative Studies. I am focusing in marine biology and ecology. I work as an aquarist at the REEF at UCSB, the Research, Experience, and Education Facility, which is a touch tank aquarium. I'm both an aquarist and I serve as a scientific educator. I also work at the Santa Barbara Sea Center as a volunteer and an aquarist assistant. And I used to work at the Birch Aquarium in San Diego as well.
Thanks, Lauren. Aaron, tell us about yourself.
Thanks, Tim. Hey, everyone. My name is Aaron Pilnick. I am a PhD student at the University of Florida. I'm in the interdisciplinary ecology program. And my research is really focused on coral reef restoration aquaculture. Specifically, I work with trying to improve methods to grow the lawn spine sea urchin Diadema antillarum in the lab. And you may have heard from Martin Moe, I think it was last year at MACNA, a little bit of background about that project. So that's what I do for my research, and a little bit of background about who I am. I grew up in New York. I sort of caught the reef keeping bug pretty early on with my brother, Alex. He and I were keeping reef tanks in our parents' basement since I think I was about 10 years old. Then when I was in high school, we moved to Orlando, Florida, and really kind of got into the scuba diving and fishing scene, a little bit more interested in marine biology and keeping fish tanks. For undergraduate, I went to Tufts University in Boston, and that's where I really sort of gained a passion for conservation biology and started to learn about the importance of all these ecosystems that unfortunately we're losing on a global scale. And so that my experiences there really kind of encouraged me to really try to pursue a career in conservation biology.
So Lauren, can you tell us a little bit about your recent experiences here in virtual meetings and something to do with a reef, I think, right?
Yeah, so I work as an aquarist and an intern at the REEF at UCSB. We are a touch tank aquarium, but we work with local schools to instill a public appreciation of science in kids. So we work with kids from pre-K up to senior citizens. But during our spring quarter, when COVID started happening and we had to go into quarantine, our team decided, we worked with our amazing director, Scott Simon, to create this program called the Virtual Reef, where we worked with teams and created educational videos for not for the public and for schools all across California and the US and everywhere really can see them. They're videos on YouTube. I would highly suggest you check them out. They primarily focus on marine science on the Santa Barbara coast and the Pacific Ocean.
So Lauren, we also know that you've had some experience working in California crab fisheries. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. So I work with a lab at UCSB called the Culver Lab, which is associated with the California Sea Grant. And we are working to improve the California crab fishery of a specific species of crab called the brown box crab. And basically, we are looking into the life history of this crab and its reproductive potential. We're trying to figure out a way to age the crabs as well, although that is proving to be quite difficult. So what I primarily do with the Culver Lab is I look at egg counts of these crabs, and our goal is basically to improve the California crab fisheries because this species of crab is one that has not been fished a lot before. There are only 8 fishers currently who have access to fishing this species of crab, but we want to be able to create a protocol for the fishers to expand this crab fishery.
So Aaron, tell us a little bit more about some of your research with Diadema antillarum and some of these systems that you've designed. I mean, they're truly impressive. They utilize the best technology that we have available to the hobby right now. How has your success been with settling out that species?
So thanks, Tim. Yeah, let me just kind of briefly introduce the nature of the partnership here. It allows us to do the research. So we're actually based out of a Florida aquarium conservation facility, but I'm with the University of Florida with the School of Natural Resources and Environment. The partnership here is really, really cool because we're basically partnered with a public aquarium. And so we have access to a wealth of knowledge that comes along with public aquariums. So they're the best aquarists in the world here that are figuring out how to take care of and grow Caribbean corals and how to keep these systems thriving. So really the work that we're doing is an extension of the amazing work that Martin Skip Moe started back in his garage in the Florida Keys. And so he really produced most of the foundational knowledge to get us 99% of the way there in terms of producing diadema in a hatchery. There are a few sort of unknown factors that came up in the culture process that we're trying to address here experimentally. So one thing that Skip had really wanted to do was to sort of upscale the process. And so we essentially worked with him and he helped us to design this recirculating aquaculture system where we're really trying to sort of experimentally figure out how to grow these urchins on a scale that then we can eventually go out and put them back out onto the reef. So when Skip designed this really unique culture vessel to fit the biology of the larvae of this urchin's really complex biology, and the engineering is actually complicated to try to simulate the planktonic environment that the larvae exist in. So we took his design and we just made 20 of them and then built them, installed them into a research system. So we have a huge amount of life support on the system. That's really cool. That was a really fun part of the project for me, was figuring out, how to do the design and the install and to work with all the industry partners and figuring out what the best equipment was that we needed to buy. And so the system itself has worked pretty well. So we've now successfully cultured diadema in this sort of hatchery setting 4 times now. And every time we're sort of improving upon the last iteration. But the cool part about the system also is that we have enough tanks where we can really apply some experimental replication to that process. So one of the ways that we can get away from sort of this anecdotal decision-making process about what's the best way to culture an animal, we really were able to replicate certain experimental standards to the process to try to look at one factor at a time. So we've really honed in on a specific diet, a microalgae diet that works really well to grow these animals. We've looked at other culture factors such as larval density, diet density, and but now we're sort of getting into the next part of the research is to pick up kind of to try to answer the question of why they sort of are so hard to grow, and they seem to get to this point when they succumb to a disease. So we really want to try to answer, so in partnership with some of the veterinarians at the University of Florida were really trying to figure out some of the health diagnostics to try to determine why they're actually really difficult to grow and how we can kind of overcome that in a culture setting.
So Aaron, this photo behind you, is that one of the kind of the point of view of an urchin in one of those systems?
Exactly. So yeah, the urchin over my left shoulder is actually a hatchery produced juvenile Diadema antillarum. And I really like this photo because it's actually sitting in front of sexually propagated Acropolis cervicornis or staghorn coral. And so this is just, for me, really cool. It highlights the kind of the partnership here where, the UF research team has been working hard to try to figure out how to grow the sea urchins experimentally in the lab. And the Florida Aquarium team has been doing some really groundbreaking work in terms of figuring out how to sexually reproduce these corals in the lab. And so here's actually a hatchery produced urchin in front of a hatchery produced coral. So this is really exciting for me to see. And I think it's kind of just, it points to kind of the future of what's to come in terms of what we can do for coral reef conservation.
That's amazing. And I know that a lot of our viewers will be familiar with that work. However, I'm not sure a lot of our viewers will be familiar with the organisms behind Lauren. These are more temperate water and Western United States organisms. Lauren, what do you have behind you?
So behind me, you can see some sea anemones as well as giant kelp. One of the main characteristics about the Pacific coast is we have these giant, amazing kelp forests.
All right, and now it's my honor to present this award to Lauren Jennings for the 2020-2021 MASNA Undergraduate Student Scholarship. Here you go, Lauren.
Thanks, Tim. I'd like to thank my parents and Scott Simon, the REEF director, and the entire REEF at UCSB, and the Santa Barbara Sea Center, the California Sea Grant, and MASNA, as well as MASNA sponsors, Two Little Fishies, Ecotech Marine, and liveaquaria.com. Thank you all for your continued support, and thank you to the sponsors for making the scholarship possible. I definitely really appreciate it.
And now it's my honor to present this award to Aaron for maintaining a strong academic record and for continued contributions and demonstrated commitment to the marine aquarium hobby. Congratulations, Aaron.
Huge thank you to MASNA, the MASNA Scholarship Committee, Tim, Kevin, and everyone else who served on the committee. Special thank you to the MASNA sponsors, liveaquaria.com, Two Little Fishies, and Ecotech Marine. This, it's really a huge honor to receive this award from you guys, and really looking forward to what comes next. Also would like to really just give a shout out to Dr. Josh Patterson and the rest of my PhD committee at the University of Florida, as well as Carrie O'Neill at the Florida Aquarium, Rachel Serafin and the rest of their team for helping us with this. It's an amazing partnership. We wouldn't be anywhere without the teamwork that we have going on. And also Florida Sea Grant, I have to put that in there. Thank you for supporting this project. Thanks, everyone.
Lauren, what do you hope to accomplish in the next year between now and MACNA 2021?
Well, I hope to further my research in the Culver Lab, as well as complete independent research projects within this research about the California crab fisheries, as well as further my work as an aquarist and a scientific educator at the REEF. I think it is incredibly important to give the public an appreciation of science and show them just how amazing our marine communities are and how aquariums are in general. So in the next year, I will also be getting my BA in biology from the University of California, and I hope to pursue two minors, one in statistics and one in professional writing for science communication, so that I can continue to spread knowledge and a love of our oceans to the public. And I'm so excited to go to MACNA 2021 next year and meet, connect, and network with all of you guys. I'm so excited to meet you guys, and I can't wait for MACNA 2021.
And Aaron, how about you? What does the next year look like for you between now and MACNA 2021?
Yeah, so just continuing with the research, hopefully, pushing forward and working towards the goal of getting a PhD. We have a lot of experiments planned and a lot of writing to do, a lot of cool science to get done. So yeah, hopefully, we'll make some more strides in terms of studying about aquaculture, and that way we can really, make some type of big contribution to larger coral reef restoration efforts that are happening here in the Caribbean.
I'd like to remind everyone that both Lauren and Aaron will be present at MACNA 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia from September 3rd to the 5th. If you don't have your tickets already for MACNA 2021 like these two guys do, then go to macna.org and get those today. Congratulations once again to Lauren and Aaron, and thank you to Tim for chairing the scholarship committee this year, and we'll continue to promote and have the scholarship for years to come. Thank you everyone for joining us here today.